We wanted to welcome you today to our webinar. This is the first one that we've done in a while, and we have a lot more planned. We are very excited for 2019. We have a lot of really cool products coming up. So please stay tuned for all of our webinars. We're going to be doing a lot more, and we'll have a lot of them coming at you. So keep checking your inbox for new products we have. We have a lot of really unique, cool stuff coming up. For today's webinar, the goal is always to get you as much content as quickly as possible. That's my goal. I know you guys are busy. You've got jobs you need to get to. You got stuff that needs to get done. So my goal is always to teach you as much about the product as I can in the shortest amount of time so we can get you back out there and getting the things that you have scheduled to do. Today, I am very excited. We're going to be talking about our cellular-based telephone entry systems called the EIS systems, which we feel is one of the best products on the market and are one of our best sales points, and the point that we really were trying to drive home in our emails leading up to this webinar is that we are one of maybe the only company that does not charge you a monthly fee for our app or our cloud-based software. This is a fully cloud-based software, which we're going to show you the software here in just a little bit, and you'll become more familiar with that. So there's no software that needs to be loaded on the computer. They don't have to always use the same computer. They can be out and about, open it on their tablet, open it on an app on their phone, or log in through any computer that has internet connection. So that's what we're excited about, is the fact that we're not going to charge you for that. Many other competitors and manufacturers are charging costs that raise and lower depending on usage, the amount of logins, all of that stuff. We know it's already a tight enough competition, so why charge you more, have your customer pay more for something that they're really not accustomed to? Now, with that being said, there is the SIM card fee, which we do not force you to get from us. That is also unique to us. So if you call, hey Quinn, I want to order an EIS Entry 1, which is our most popular seller, which we'll show you here in just a minute. I say, okay, do you want the SIM card from us, or do you want to provide it yourself? I'll provide it myself. I ship you the product. You don't owe me anything from there on out. You pay for the hardware, you ship it to you, we charge you nothing monthly. It is really cool. We're really proud to be able to say that we do that. Hopefully it makes your life a little bit easier as you're promoting this to your customers. So let's jump into this. Today I'm going to go over the different options that we have in hardware. We're going to go through the software, and then we're going to show you just really quick how this works. And again, it's 11:05 now here, Mountain Standard Time. My goal is to get you in and out of here by 11:30. Okay, so we're going to give you as much information as we can. Please stop me at any time with questions. Tyler is monitoring our question center. Please type those in. He'll read the question, and I'll address it if I can. We never talk about pricing on here, so we're not going to talk prices. If you have pricing questions, please reach out to your sales rep. And this is being recorded, so it will be posted on our YouTube channel and our website, transmittersolutions.com. So let's go ahead and jump into this. I'm going to jump over to the software so I can show you all of the different models and makes that we have. What we've done is we've tried to make this as simple as possible for you as the installer. We want to say to you, hey, we have an option for the single-family residence, or we have an option for the multifamily installations that you do, so you don't have to pay for features that you don't need, and vice versa. So all of the information that we're getting is found on our website, transmittersolutions.com, where you can find all of our manuals, data sheets, and information on our product. I'm going to come over here to our products, and I'm going to scroll down to EIS GSM Solutions. You'll notice that we use the term GSM and cellular kind of back and forwards, just depending on, I guess, who you're talking to, but they mean the same thing. This is the telephone entry that is connected with a SIM card, okay? So you have to have a AT&T or T-Mobile SIM card are the ones that we do. AT&T or T-Mobile are the SIM cards we do, and we have just released our 4G units, which we will have in stock. We actually sold out of them. We're going to be having stock here again pretty quickly, so keep that in mind. But we do have stock of our EIS units, so just get ready for that. So you can see the different models that we have. Again, all of these that we're showing are cellular-based telephone entry systems. You can see starting left to right, we have the EIS lock, which is a cellular-based keypad. All of these are programmed and managed through our cloud-based app or cloud-based software, which we will go through. So the keypad would be if you have an application where someone wants to be able to monitor and track PIN codes, who's coming and going with those PIN codes, the EIS lock is a great option. The EIS-R is our option mostly for single-family residents where they do not need a keypad. All they need is the call button. That call button will call one person and roll up to 5 total. So if the first person doesn't answer, it can roll to the second person, third person, fourth person, fifth person, and so on. Then we have the iSentry 1. The iSentry 1 is our top seller by far. We sell a lot of the iSentry 1, built for single-family residents. That is a paper display that you see there with one call button that will call one initially, roll up to 5 people, and also a keypad. And then you can go on down the list. We have the iSentry 2 call button, the 4 call button. And then I'm going to skip the 40 because it's, we always, if someone calls in about the iSentry 40, which is a paper display, we bump them up for not much more money to the iSentry LCD. The iSentry LCD comes in 200 apartment memory size or 1,000 apartment memory size. You can have 2 phone numbers per apartment. So if you call apartment 100, that's me and I don't answer, it can roll over and call my wife who can then answer and let you in the apartment. So the LCD unit will call 2 people per apartment. All of our other units will roll up to 5 different people, okay? Now, one of the cool things to keep in mind is that all of these systems, everything is programmed through the cloud-based software and app. There is nothing that has to be programmed at the unit itself. It is all done through the cloud-based app, which is really nice as well. So you don't have to program, you don't program a phone number in here and then come up and program the keypad individually. That's not how ours works. All the programming and the managing is done through our cloud-based software. But you can see we have a lot of different options when it comes to this cellular-based telephone entry system. Like I said, our 2 most popular are the iSentry 1 and then the EIS LCD. Those are the ones that we sell most. And the EIS LCD comes in 200 apartments or 100 apartments. Any questions so far? Okay. Let's go ahead and jump into the software. So the software is the URL you can see here, eisware.com, www.eisware.com, spelled EISWARE.com. This is where you're going to go if you're choosing to do it on a tablet or computer, or you can download our app, which is called EISware Web, EISWARE, one word. If you type that in, you'll see it's called EISware Web. Any changes that you make through the software on the computer, the cloud-based software is going to automatically push to the app, and vice versa. If you change it on the app, when you log into your software on the cloud, you'll see that change as well. You can log in through your Facebook account, Gmail, or Twitter. Once you log in, it's all there. Any changes you make, we will then push to the device, and I'll show you how to do that in just a minute. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put my name back in here. So I'm going to choose the apartment 3 slot. Again, I could change this to whatever I want. I'm just going to keep it at 3. I'm going to put my phone number in there, my cell. Just forget this as soon as this webinar is over. I don't want text late at night. And then I could put in a second phone number. So if I don't answer this number, it would call another number. I'll just make one up. Okay. And then I'm going to put my name. And this will automatically alphabetize on the screen. So no matter what order you put them in here, it will alphabetize the name. So I'm actually going to do Coford Quinn because it will alphabetize now by my last name. I want it to trigger my relay number 1, and I want it to stay with the default of call me for 25 seconds before rolling over to the second number. I'm going to press the check mark. Then you'll see that my table is going to continue growing. Now I can do that for in this device up to 1,000 different people, okay? And I have that option to set if they trigger relay 1, relay 2, what numbers they want to call, all of that good stuff. I also have some more settings down here where I can adjust the mic and speak level, microphone and speaker level, and I can do a couple more things that really aren't used too often, but if you need to use them, they are here. Now I'll jump over to the Pin Access tab. Pin Access is where you're going to do all of your management and control of PIN codes for the built-in keypad. We also have 2 Wiegand inputs on our LCD units and a Wiegand input on our EIS Entry 1 unit. This is where you're going to manage your Wiegand devices as well. So your Wiegand devices will be managed here and your PIN codes will be managed here, all under the PIN codes tab. You can see 2 tables. Each table has 1,000 slots, so you can have up to 2,000 PIN codes and or Wiegand devices. You can set which devices trigger relay 1 and which devices trigger relay 2. And you can also time control the relays. So what we've done right now, and we will build on this as we go, is that if I have all of my tenants trigger relay 1, which is the main gate, and they're not allowed in after a certain time, I can set it so that they're not allowed in at a certain time. Right now, it is specific to relays rather than users. So relay 1 would be set for a specific time to open and close, and relay 2 as well when there's a PIN code or Wiegand device used. That will expand as we continue to develop this product, but that's where it is right now, and it actually works very well for in most instances. An important thing to note is that it's called PIN access, but this is where all of your Wiegand device management will be done as well. And again, you have 2,000 slots for that to be used. Okay, so, and again, it's just a very simple user interface. I would come in here and I'll go ahead and add a code. I'm gonna add, if it was a Wiegand device, the standard setting is to ignore the facility code, so you don't have to put that in. But let's say my Wiegand device was 55555, my 5-digit serial number, that's what I would put there. I'm just going to do a PIN code. I'm going to do the PIN code of 5678, and I'm going to save that as Quinn. And this will all be tracked when Quinn uses it. And then I'm just going to press the check mark. And again, my table up here is going to start growing with the changes that I need to send down to the device. Again, for any of those that missed it, when you log into ours, you don't have to upload anything. It automatically fills in with what we have. All we do is send the new stuff once we've made the changes that we want. So the PIN access is where you're going to manage your Wiegand devices. Any questions on any of that? Okay. The caller ID section is also a pretty neat feature that a lot of people like to use. The caller ID section is where, for instance, Mark's cell phone number is put in here. If Mark calls the phone number, which is found here, of the telephone entry system, and Mark is calling from this phone number, it will open the gate. You can use this, you can enable it, or you can disable it, and you can set it to the specific relay that you want to use, relay 1 or relay 2. Something important to note is that by default, anyone who is set up on the intercom tab, this phone number in the intercom tab will also work as a caller ID number, so if they call the gate with this number, they can open it. This function can be disabled. If you do not want these numbers to be able to open the gate when they call the gate, you can disable it, and then you can put specific people here. A lot of times people are going to put vendors, maintenance, things like that, where they can just call the gate and get into the gate. But everything that we're talking about is tracked and reported and logged so they can see what's going on. But you can do caller ID for specific users, which would mean everyone who's programmed in here will work. You can do caller ID disabled, which means it will not work at all. Or you can do caller ID always on, which means anybody who knows this number, which would have to be given out by the property manager or owner, anyone who knows this number, if I set caller ID always on, can call it and open it. Not many people do that because of security reasons, but we do have that option, and then you can specify which relay you want to use, 1 or 2. Outputs is where you're going to be able to control your relays. There are 2 relays on our systems. You can select between time pulsed or latching. So you could, a lot of people do output 1 for a time pulse where they're using their Wiegand devices or their PIN codes, and output 2 as a latch code if they want to be able to have specific codes to latch the gate open. They'd use that for output 2, but you have full control of that here in the output section. Digital interface and inputs is not a really big deal. The one thing you need to know is if you have Wiegand devices connected to the telephone entry system, And again, we have 2 Wiegand device inputs. You want to set the digital interface mode to 2. Most people disable the facility code. And then you set the input operation mode to Wiegand. It comes default to normal. You just change that to Wiegand, and then your Wiegand devices will start to work with the system and be tracked and managed. Okay? Again, we're going through this pretty quickly. This is recorded, and my goal is to not get you 100% familiar with this, but to say, so you can leave going, yeah, I think I can sell that product, install it, and then just call tech support. Dan Falk, tech support. Feel free to call him till however late you want. Maybe I'll even give out a cell phone number if you guys are lucky. Probably not going to happen, but maybe. Temporary PIN codes is where you can put in PIN codes that are either done off of a counter. So this person set the counter to work 20 times. After 20 times that PIN code is used, it will go away. 3535, it won't work anymore. Or you can do a time day limit, so it only works during specific times on certain days. Temporary PIN codes is different from normal PIN codes, because normal PIN codes, you have 2,000 of them, and you can select, you would set that based off of timer, preconditions saying this will only work Monday through Friday. These temporary PIN codes, you have 100 of them, and you can get pretty specific with when they work. So again, maintenance, UPS, whatever it may be. Service button is a function that's not yet available. Administration is where Mark is programmed in with input 1, input 2, unauthorized call, and log full. This means Mark at this phone number will be sent text messages when input 1 is triggered. Excuse me. Input 2 is triggered. There's an unauthorized call or a log full. Mark is one of the 5 administrators who can see this through text message. Now, this is different than Mark having the app downloaded. If Mark knew the information to this telephone entry, being the IMEI and the phone number, he could download the app and have full access, but we know we're not giving that information to Mark. We just want Mark to see specific things happening. We want him to be alerted when Relay 1 triggers, so you can put those here under the administration. And under PIN codes, you can set up notifications that will alert you when certain people have used their PIN code if you want to do that. A lot of people don't because they don't want their phone buzzing all day, but if you have someone that you know is not supposed to be in there during a certain time or shouldn't be using their code 20 times a day, you can set up to be alerted with this function here, enable PIN notification function to that certain person to tell you what's going on. Timer. This unit does have a 7-day timer built into it that you can program here. You have 2 timer options where you can basically say, I want this gate to automatically open Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 5 p.m. And you can see you can program in a whole bunch of different times during a day, which makes it really, really nice. And you can set 2 of those. This is also where you can set and say, master mode will override anything. The gate will not close if it's in master mode during the times that it's told to be open. Slave mode means that if someone enters a PIN code and the gate's open, it will close. So most people set it to master mode. If you set it to output precondition, that means that the output that you've chosen, output 1, and I'm going to do output precondition, that means that the PIN codes and the Wiegand devices that are working on output 1, if I jump back here, all of these will only work during the times that I've specified and on the certain days. Okay? Now I can do week mode or I can do day mode. Day means every single day of the week is the same. Week mode means I want to do different things on different days. Okay, so any questions on that? I'm going to set it back to the master mode. But this is where you're going to use and set all of your timers, all of your preconditions for people with Wiegand devices, all of that stuff. Okay, and then I'm going to go to the last thing, my event log. The event log is just an area where you are given a time and date stamp to see everything that's going on with the unit that you have. And the event log will save all of this information. You can export the event log if you want to save it, but it's giving you detailed information of what's going on with the unit. So you can see that what you're getting with the EIS telephone entry systems is very, very robust. the ability to log in to the EIS-4.com from anywhere and make changes in an instant, the ability on your app to open the app and see the exact same things that you're seeing on the EIS-4.com makes it really easy, so you don't have to worry about who's making what changes. All of this is done and we don't charge you for it. Almost any competitor that I know of who has these same functions and features where you have cloud-based software and an app, they're charging you every single month to use those, and it's not cheap. It's not cheap to you as a dealer, and then you have to turn around and sell that to your customer. Or in some instances, they bypass the dealer on the monthly fee and go directly to the end user, which just, we don't want to do that. So we give all of this to you, the cloud, the app, all of these functions and features, and we don't charge you anything for it, which is really nice. And you can see you can do, this system is going to work for 90% of installations where they need Wiegand devices, tracking who's coming and going, and a telephone entry system. Some really, really large applications, bigger than 1,000 apartments, we wouldn't be able to do, but this is a nice feature. Now, I'm probably going to get asked if we have a camera. Right now, we do not have a camera. This is something we are very close to releasing, so stay tuned. But we sell a lot of these devices. They are tried and true. They have a 2-year warranty, and I will tell you that the price on them, getting away from the fact that we don't charge you monthly for any of this, the actual price on the hardware for what you're getting, we are, from what I've seen, the least expensive on the market. The price is very competitive, and we've switched a lot of people over to these just because they're easy to use, the programming is very simple, and the price is right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to jump back. I just said the price is right, I just realized. I'm going to jump back to the camera right here, and I'm going to show you just the app. This probably won't come out too clear. I'm going to log in real quick. So this is my app, and you'll see that I've got the same gates here on my app. Sorry, this is like backwards. I've got the same gates, and it's blurry too. The same gates on my app that I did in the cloud software. And if I click on one, so I'll click on Mark's LCD, I have all of my settings that I can do right here. Okay? From the app, you also have direct commands where you can trigger the relay directly from the app on your phone. So you can trigger relay 1 or relay 2. Again, just another really, really nice feature that we give you. We have a lot of people that use the app if they're on the road and they need to make a change, all of those things. One thing I forgot to show you is all we would do at this point, and we don't need to go look at it, is in the software, that box in the top right-hand corner. Actually, let's go back. This box in the top right-hand corner, now that I've made all of the changes I want to this system, I click on that arrow and I'm going to click Send to Device, and it's going to say this will affect 2 different records. Do you really want to proceed? And I'm going to say yes. And it's going to go send out that information. Depending on how much information you're changing, this usually takes about 60 seconds. Once it's done, this box will automatically go away and your system is going to be updated. So this is in session now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have us jump to the telephone entry that we've been working on. This is our EIS LCD. This is the system that I've been logged into and working on. They are, again, the price on them is really good, very competitive, and you can see they're a nice looking unit. You have your pin pad, you have your screen. It just said system initialization. It did that because we were sending the information. The information is now sent down, and you can see that I can scroll through here, and I would be able to select and make a call from here, or I can type in my code followed by a pound, and it would trigger the gate. Okay, so all of this was done that easily through, I was explaining it, but if I would actually just have been doing the managing and changing the numbers and adding that PIN code, it would have been a 2-minute process, and I could have done that on my app or on the computer. So again, the big point that we wanted to get across is that you may not feel 100% comfortable with the system. The points that you need to know are everything is programmed through the cloud. Everything. There is nothing done at the unit, and there is nothing done any other way. You log in through EIS-4.com, or you open your app, you make the changes, you send it to the device from anywhere in the world, and we do not charge you for that functionality, which is totally different than everyone else on the market. Okay, these are cellular based. They will take an AT&T or a T-Mobile SIM card. They have 2 Wiegand inputs and 2 relays. We have a bunch of different options where you can get keypad. Like I said, our most popular version is our iSentry1, which is 1 call button, no screen. It's a paper display and the keypad. We sell a ton of them. People really like them. And then the ICE LCD and a bunch of options in between. And it's just a really solid unit, 2-year warranty and a really competitive price point. So that's what we wanted to get across to you. There's a lot of these coming out here, a lot of people pushing monthly fees, which we think we're right when we say people don't like those. It is nice to have recurring revenue, and you can do that on the SIM card side, where you give them the SIM card and maybe upcharge them a little bit. But we think that other monthly costs are a hard sell for people. One thing to note about our SIM card, if you do get the SIM card from us, we provide AT&T and T-Mobile, our rates do not change. We don't care how often you use it, your monthly rate on the SIM card fee will not change, and the fee is not that much. Again, we don't talk about pricing, but you're not going to have one site, if they have our SIM card, that's X amount, and another site that uses it less as X amount. It's all the same fee. We never go up or down on there, and we're not charging you for the cloud or the app. So that is the ICE line of products. We're extremely proud of them. They work really well, and people really like them. So what questions do we have? Any questions? I'm going to stick around, and I'll answer those questions for you. Any other features you want me to go through in the software? Hopefully I've addressed most of them, but you can see it's extremely easy to use. So what we'll do is let's go ahead and ask me any questions that you have, and I'm going to stick around and answer them. Okay, so we just had a question come through. The question is, can you walk through the tenant user experience, please? How does the device notify me of a guest, and how do I let them in? Good question. So if we go to the software again, the information for what's going to show up on the screen, we're talking about the LCD, is saved here under the intercom section. Phone number 1 is the phone number it's first going to call. Okay, if they don't answer that number, it's going to roll to phone number 2. And then when it's calling me, I will see the call coming in on my cell phone or landline. You can do whatever phone you want. And then I'm going to pick up, and to let them in, I'm going to press 1-1. 1-1 will trigger the gate. Now you can see if it was an iSentry1, just one call button, I would have phone number 1, and I would have 5 different options, because they can call once. They can call, it's going to ring the first number, and that one will roll up to 4 other people for a total of 5. So that's an iSentry1. And in that case, it's the residence would be printed on the paper display if they wanted it to, or not at all. They would just be able to call the button. But when my phone rings, I answer it, I talk to them, and then I'm going to press 1-1. If I go to the ICE unit that we have over here, the user on the LCD would come up, and it says use arrows to select name and press call. It says welcome, use arrows. So I would scroll through, I would find someone, and I would press the call button. It says calling Coford Quinn, which is exactly what I saved in there. My phone is now ringing. Okay. I'm going to answer. I could talk to him if I wanted. Then I'm going to press, I'm trying to show you, 1-1. The relay just triggered inside of the unit. And then I hung up, and that's what the user sees. But they can scroll through here to decide who they want to call. If it was the iSentry1, it would be a paper display with 1 call button. They'd push that. Same thing would happen. They'd hear it ringing. It would ring to me. I'd answer it, press 1-1 to let them in. So we just got another question. The question was, any plans for a Verizon? Again, like I said, right now we have AT&T or T-Mobile SIM cards. We are in the process of working on Verizon. I do not have a time frame of when it will be done, but it is something that our engineers are working on. One thing I will add to that is we have had really, really good success with the AT&T. I have actually never heard of a unit that hasn't been able to connect using the AT&T SIM card, maybe one in a really remote area, but we've had a lot of success with AT&T SIM cards. T-Mobile as well, but we prefer AT&T just because their coverage is a little bit better from what we've seen. So we just got another question. Can the camera be integrated into an existing system once it's available? Right now, the best option would be if you go to our YouTube channel, you can watch a previous training we did on the EIS units with a camera system called My Door View. That will integrate right now with any of our EIS telephone entry systems, and we show you how to do that on our YouTube channel. Go to YouTube, search Transmitter Solutions, and then look for EIS training with My Door View camera integration. You can do that. The downside is that you do have to have an Ethernet cable or a GSM connection in order to do that with this camera, but it works really well. So you can look at that. The one with the camera is probably going to be a whole different unit because there's different development and programming and all of that. And again, I don't have an ETA on that one either. But you can see what we've done with the My Door View guys as an integration for our existing systems. Okay, another question. Can you have more than one user accessing the account? Is there a way to limit what the user sees or limit them to only viewing their own directory? The answer is yes to the majority of that question. We do have a system administrator setting up here. If we go back to the software, there's a little icon here that takes you into this My Teams is what we call it. And you can set up other people to be able to access this device. So there can be other managers coming into and seeing this account. Now they would not be able to, for the time being, see, if they have access to a device, they would see everything. So if I shared this device right now, M. Snedeker is a member of my team, which I'm the team owner. If they had access to my Marks LCD, they would have access to everything inside Marks LCD. But what you can do is you can make it so if I share with them, they're not going to be able to see every single one of my units, okay? They would only see the unit that I share with them. So if I'm an installer and I have 20 units installed and I want to share it with a specific person, I'm not sharing my whole list. I'm only sharing a specific unit. So if I shared Mark's desk with Melissa, she would only see Mark's desk. I would still see Westfield Storage Mark's desk in test training. But yeah, you can do that. Okay, so we just had another question come through. How does the facility code get programmed, and is there a way to ignore it? So we'll jump back to the software. Yes is the answer to that as well. I'll go ahead and click back on the unit we've been working on, which is Mark's desk. And it's actually really simple, which is nice. So default, when you first come into inputs, if you're going to use Wiegand devices, you'll change the product from normal, which it comes default, to Wiegand. You're going to come to digital interface and make sure your mode is 2, which is the Wiegand mode. And then you can do facility code enabled or disabled. It comes default as disabled. Okay, so if it's disabled, when you're adding a Wiegand device into the Wiegand section, you only have to use a 5-digit number. Okay? If you use an enabled facility code, you would then set your facility code down here, something like 77. Majority of our customers just keep this disabled and don't use a facility code. They're just using the 5-digit serial number. So another question, is there a limitation on the SIM card for usage or minutes? Again, we give you 2 options when you order the product, to get the SIM card from us or to provide it yourself. If you get the SIM card from us, it's a flat fee that we charge. It never goes up, never goes down, and it is unlimited. It is totally unlimited, so you don't have to worry about usage, minutes, text messages, anything like that. The fee will never change no matter how often they use it. If you get it yourself, obviously that's dependent on what kind of coverage that you get.